Jim Caldwell reporting from Lampe, Missouri.
Well, James, after a valiant 7-game series, the Hawks finally fell to the Bullets today.
Yeah, I was really pulling for them. It would be good for basketball in the Southeast since Atlanta was doing so well to go on, but they did well. Of course, the big story is the golf tournament. You know that. I was out there for a good while today, and everybody involved should be proud because it really came off well. This year's George Lindsay Celebrity Golf Tournament turned out to be a super success. Thousands of Alabamians came out to Arrowhead Country Club to watch the stars, and professional golfers on hand make the rounds to raise money for the mentally retarded children and the Special Olympics program here in Alabama. Both young and old seemed to enjoy the event that began shortly after 10 o'clock this morning. The focus of attention was not necessarily on the golf game itself, but on the many different famous personalities on hand. TV 12's Phil Snow and Dan Atkinson talked with several of the tournament entries this afternoon.
George, what you doing these days? You're not kicking field goals.
Well, I play little golf tournaments around the country. I do some PR work, do some commercials, and do some public speaking around the country, and I play a lot of golf and a lot of charity tournaments around the country and enjoy it.
You ought to get asked to do some coaching every once in a while. You ever consider it?
Every once in a while I think about it, but then I count my blessings that I'm not, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
This kind of old home week down here, Bear Bryant, a lot
sure
of
is.
You knew at Kentucky?
Oh, absolutely. I visited with the Bear last night, yesterday afternoon. A great man, Charlie McClendon, and I played together at Kentucky back in 48, 47.
I play a lot of tournaments. There's the old thing about an actor that he never turns down a free meal or a free round of golf. So,
well, we're going to keep it free so you'll keep coming back. Welcome back to Montgomery. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you. Any birdies, Coach?
Our team made a couple, but I didn't contribute.
You got Lou King, the Amana man, and he's next to a touring pro, isn't he?
He's not as playing well today as he did the last time I played with him. I think he's just getting warmed up now. Maybe I've been hitting first. That might have affected him because I'm a little short all the time.
Maybe he'll give you one of those wide brim hats.
I think he will.
You having a good time?
Oh, delightful. Wonderful to be here, and for a cause like this, what makes it even better, the weather's so pretty today. I mean, no sun.
Hope you have a good round.
Thank you. No way, though.
Welcome back to Montgomery, first of all.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back.
You have so many awards. Do you have a warehouse to keep all these awards in?
No, I have a lot of walls, though.
Just cover the walls.
Well, I put them all up.
I see. Last year when you were here, we were talking a bit about all the instruments you play, and it's occurred to me, do you keep adding on? Are you always trying to learn more
No, I'm at the point I'm trying to keep up. There was a time that I added on, and now it's just trying to do what the best I can do with as least as I do it with, you know.
Well, you've been apparently practicing a lot with the violin. You did a splendid job last night on...
Thank you. I like to show off when I get in front of all those legitimate violin players.
I was wondering, you know, when your contract comes up for renegotiation, do you want us to send you a tape of all these ladies following you around this golf course?
I tell you something. Alabama, Montgomery in particular, I don't know what it is. I should bring it all back to Los Angeles. I may be able to get a lot more money on my show.
You should, my goodness.
Because this is incredible. Every time I come here, it's like this, and I don't know, I'm very flattered. I go back to being a bum back in L.A. again, but here it's nice, so I appreciate it very much.
The golf tournament is the culmination of the George Lindsay Celebrity Weekend here in Montgomery. Last night, an overflow crowd watched the Great Stars Show put on at the Montgomery Civic Center. All events this weekend were received enthusiastically by local residents, and let's hope that next year's Celebrity Weekend is as good, or even better if that's possible, as what went on yesterday and today. The Atlanta Hawks finally ran out of magic today, and the Philadelphia 76ers kept alive in the National Basketball Association playoffs. Philadelphia evened their series with San Antonio at 3 games apiece with a 92-90 win. Game 7 will be Wednesday night in San Antonio. And the Bullets beat the Hawks 100-94 in Landover, Maryland. Here's the story on the game from Nick Charles.
The Capitol Center was the only place to be this afternoon in Washington. President Carter was there early and stayed late. The president was rooting for Atlanta, and the Hawks took an early 4-point lead. But the Bullets, behind the hot hand of Elvin Hayes, pulled into a first-quarter tie at 26. And the Big E continued to carry the load when Bobby Dandridge got into foul trouble, and the Bullet guards couldn't buy a basket. Washington led 52-50 at halftime, but Atlanta just kept playing rock-solid defense, and when Eddie Johnson forced this turnover and cashed a lay-in, the Hawks had jumped in front 61-58. But Hayes pulled Washington into a tie, and then the Bullets started to open up from outside. When Larry Wright hit 2 quick baskets, the Bullets took a 75-69 lead to the last quarter. But midway through the final quarter, Armand Hill stole the ball and scored to tie the game at 83. Atlanta simply refused to fold. Washington won this game, though, when Bobby Dandridge got into his rhythm, combining soft jumpers with fluid drives to the basket. Atlanta fell behind by 8 and could never close the gap as the Bullets won a real battle, 100-94.
It was a man's game today. It was definitely a man's game. No place out there for the weak of heart, and the Bullets responded like I expected them to. Atlanta played like I thought they would also. They're a great basketball team.
Nick Charles, NBC News, Washington.
Every Major League Baseball team was in action this afternoon. The Mets and the Dodgers split a doubleheader. Los Angeles winning the first game 8-3. New York coming back to win the second 6-3. The Pirates beat Houston by 5 runs. Montreal got by the Giants 7-5. Philadelphia edged San Diego by 1 run. The Braves lost to Chicago 6-5. The Cubs got their 6 runs unbelievably with 2 out in the 9th inning. And Cincinnati beat St. Louis 5-1. In the American League, Milwaukee and Toronto split a twin bill. And Minnesota beat Detroit 5-3. Texas blanked the Chicago White Sox 10-0. Cleveland nipped Kansas City by a score of 5-4. The Red Sox downed California 2-0. Baltimore bombed the Oakland A's 13-1. And Seattle got by the New York Yankees by a score of 6-5. In the Southern League today, the Montgomery Rebels lost to Charlotte this afternoon by a score of 5-2. Hubert Green is the winner of this year's Greater New Orleans Open Golf Tournament. Green emerged from a 5-way tie with a birdie on the 16th hole, then salvaged par on the 18th to preserve the victory. Lee Trevino, Steve Melnick, Bruce Litsky, and Frank Connor all finished in a tie for second place, 1 shot back. In the Legends of Golf tournament today in Texas, it took 6 extra holes before the team of Julius Burros and Roberto DiVincenzo won the event, beating out Art Wall and Tommy Bolt in sudden death. And in Birmingham today, Jane Blaylock held on to win the Odie Chrisman Classic. And that's the sports, Michael.
Thank you, James. That's our program for this evening. Thank you, and good night from all of us at Channel 12 News. And now stay tuned for the Sunday show. Tonight the movie is Love is a Ball, starring Glenn Ford.